So I'm just doing a little mini business update again this week of where I'm up to with things and what I'm planning to do for the rest of this week before I go on holiday next Tuesday. So it's the second week of September. So last week I had a member of staff off on holiday. I was covering her cleans. I did some recording actually when I was at some of her cleans, but she's actually come back and is actually off sick now for some of this week. She picked up a viral infection, so I'm kind of managing staff holidays and staff sickness this week, which is inevitably going to happen. We're all human. Last week I was doing all the policies and procedures and everything, all the kind of handbooks, and it was literally death by policies and procedures for having an employee, because I'd kind of always wanted to go down the route of freelancers, but that's now not working. So I am going to be employing, doing all the contracts and stuff and making sure that everyone's HR sections are congruent to what type of work that they're doing. Today I'm dressed, ready to go out to work because I'm doing a first clean with one of my members of staff, and thereafter she's going to, that clean's going to be hers. I'll just go out and help with the first one because it's quite a big piece of work to do the first clean. For the rest of the week, I've made contact about franchising. When I think about the build out of this business, I don't want to kind of hire managers on salaries and build out my business that way. I would rather have franchisees. I think it's a lot better. Like, I want to work with people like me that are driven and motivated to grow and to have the autonomy to a degree, because obviously franchising is kind of you're working together, but have some autonomy in terms of your growth and what you can earn. And I think if I bring on franchisees, I'm a lot more likely to get what I want out of the business long term, because I don't want to just be holding loads and loads of employees. Well, it's why I'm doing this channel as well. I really want to help people to run their own business. So when I've looked into franchising, the cost, if you go through a company, the cost is crazy. It's like £30,000 and they're offering you all bells and whistles, and like, I can get you, we can get you franchisees, we can set up the meetings. And I'm thinking, with a lot of these things, the same happened with the employee element, where companies kind of take advantage of you not knowing and then think that there's an extra value added onto what it is they're actually doing. And when you break it down into its actual constituent parts with an employee, I'm jumping around a bit here, but it's about kind of things that you don't know and what other companies want you to pay for, like business services. With the employees, I was on a call with like this HR kind of software company, and they wanted to charge me, I think, £70 or £80 a month, which in the grand scheme of things isn't much, but I need to keep my costs down and I'm not going to be paying for something that I don't need. And I was thinking to myself, well, why do I need to pay monthly for something that is essentially a contract, which is like a standalone document that you just sign, therefore it doesn't need a monthly ongoing anything, and then all the policies and procedures and the handbooks and everything, I just need that once. So why would I be paying for that month in, month out to have access to it? And so I think when you're running a business, that's something to really be aware of, is whilst it may seem like comfort to go down the route of, getting a company to help you and paying this and paying that, overheads for a business really start racking up, and then it affects your bottom line, of what you're able to actually put in your pocket. So I actually went a different route and I bought my contract as a standalone document and tweaked it myself. And then I was able to get hold of a load of different current policies and procedures where I just paid one off for that. So I'm not paying this ongoing monthly fee, and I've got it now. Obviously, if there's updates in the law or whatever, I'm going to have to check that out and update my documents myself. So that's one of the things that, you know, I would probably have had I gone down the route of going with this company. But I need to keep my outgoings low, because you realise it adds up over time, because you've got like your accountancy fees, so like running Microsoft 360, your Wix account for your website. I pay for ZenMaid as well, and then for each cleaner you have on there, you're paying. I have to pay insurance. I'm paying more insurance now because I've got an employee. And then all the marketing costs, you know, we've paid out for a new batch of the brochures and things that I've done a video on that about the branding. That all costs money. And then now, like, for example, I'm running Google Ads to get in more clients for September and October. So had I given that company the £70, that £70 is instead far better used on my Google Ads. So it's really good to keep track of your outgoings and just run as lean as you possibly can. One of the really good things about running a service business is that you don't have a huge outlay of you know, what you need to be paying out per month, but you just need to be mindful of it. And like, if we can keep it down, we're going to, aren't we? Because then you get more profit and you put that in your pocket. So with the franchising then, when I've scouted around to like tentatively have a look at it, I got on a couple of calls with these companies. They wanted to charge me £30,000. And I'm thinking, well, this is a similar situation to the employee thing, where yes, it's kind of quite heavy and it's like all around contracts and legalities. And obviously having a franchise is a lot more, you know, there's a lot of legal stuff around like sharing or partnering in a business with someone. But I don't believe that it should cost £30,000. I mean, if I had an endless budget, yeah, I'd probably pay for that, but do I need to? So what I've been doing instead is thinking logically about, well, actually, what is a franchise? A franchise is where I'm lending my branding or like helping a business to run under my name. So a lot of the information is actually all held with me, isn't it? It's like for me to actually teach and train someone how to run under my business, to know my brand identity. I know how to teach them how to do it. So why would I be paying someone else £30,000? So what I have been doing since I started is putting together SOPs, which is standard operating procedures for how you actually complete each task. And then you create kind of basically it's your how to run the business, put all those standard operating procedures together. And then I would be training the person on how to run the business. Now, also, when it comes to actually buying a franchise, for example, I checked out Molly-Made. They wanted to charge £30,000 for a Molly-Made franchise. And in the documentation, it was saying that you would only start making money by like year 3. I'm like, oh my gosh, 30 grand and you're only going to start making money in year 3. Sod that. I literally started my own business and started making money immediately. But obviously we do have within our household, we do have a lot of different expertise that we don't need from Molly-Made, but that Molly-Made is providing for people that haven't got sales and marketing and, you know, those kind of backgrounds, where we've got it here. So we didn't really need Molly-Made. But yeah, when they said you might make some money in year 3, I'm like, crikey. So if I'm offering a franchise, which I'm going to be doing, I want a low barrier to entry for people, because hardly anybody is going to have 30k up front to start a business, where I want to offer it at a much, like at literally just some input for your training, like a couple of grand or something like that, 1 or 2 grand to show a bit of skin in the game, a bit of intent, because it will take quite a long time for me to do the handover and the training. And I obviously want, when I'm taking on franchisees, they all need to know how to clean. And that's the bottom line. Like, I wouldn't be taking on anybody that was just wanting to hire staff and that, because then we would lose the culture of what it is we're trying to deliver to our clients, and there would be gap in knowledge. So I was due to have a meeting yesterday. It didn't quite work out between our timings, where I found a contract solicitor, right, who can actually help me. So like scouting around, sorry, the sunlight keeps changing. I'm going to flick on the light, give a bit of stability to the light. So yeah, when I was like, I don't want to go down this route of paying a company £30,000, I was like, there's got to be another way, because I can do the lion's share of this, and I just need the legal document to tell me what I need to supply and what I need to produce, and then get a contract solicitor to look over the contract and to check that I've done everything to kind of protect myself in terms of the business and to protect the franchisee and to make sure that I'm giving a good offer. So when it's only like that standalone of like the actual contract, and then you give me a list of what I need to do, I think I'm going to be able to get this in for, obviously it's going to be way less than £30,000, you know, it might be a couple of thousand instead. And that means then that I can get my franchisees on much quicker and get them started and get things moving for them. And I want to do it on just a different type of profit share with my franchisees. So that's kind of what I'm doing this week. Also, I have been creating documents and training videos to help with the recruitment process. I think I'm going to do another video on that, because that's a whole thing in itself of how to help yourself when you're training and recruiting staff. So I'll do that next.